HLTV Awards 2024. I guess it's technically 2025, but it's for the year 2024. And we're going to talk about different things. Obviously, we have the HLTV Awards for the Player of the Year, Women's Player of the Year, Team of the Year, Women's Team of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and then there is the big one, the panel awards with the IGL, so opener, anchor, closer, opener, coach, and the highlight of the year, as well as the equally important community awards for the talent of the year, event of the year. We have more than a few, creator of the year, streamer of the year, and of course skin of the year. So we're just gonna start talking about all of them. We had like a really interesting year behind us. The 2024 awards show is in Belgrade on the 11th, and I think that that's something I've been speaking to people about it for the past, I don't know, a week or so. They have been asking about my opinion. We are exchanging like, what do we think about the awards? I feel like we're on the same page. It's an event that's kind of necessary. It's kind of, you're summing up the year, getting like these awards. I think players like it. I think the community likes it a lot, and I think it has been a really good show last year in Belgrade, and the year before that I believe it was in Sweden. And being in Serbia, it's kind of special for us as well, because I am from Belgrade myself, as you all know, Yanko, Nico, and a couple of more people as well. And there's a lot of teams, boot camping here and staying here, especially from Russia, and like including Spirit, I believe. And I do think that it's a big thing. Logistically speaking, it's also a good thing because the flights are easy to get to Belgrade, and everything is cheap here. So organizing it is not that expensive, but overall the tournament, the event itself, the award show is a pretty decent thing to have in our kind of community. It reminds us of I was gonna say Oscar, but Oscars, like Academy Awards, are kind of shit right now, but you at least understand what I'm trying to say. It's kind of prestige thing, and it's a nice thing to have for CS. I don't think that any esports has something similar that we have in our community. So that's kind of cool to see. I hope it stays in Belgrade for every year, because it's like I said, it's super good for us, and like I said, also logistically it's very easy to deal with it. I think Relog is the guys who are like behind the broadcast and the other stuff, and obviously we have SkinClub and as a sponsor as well. So it's just a good mix of things and a good mix of people there organizing all this thing. Now, to get into the actual awards, so where do we start? I don't even know. Or should we start from the least interesting for the fans out there? Let's start from the community awards. We have in the finals, we have Scronny, we have Chad, and we have James Banks. So the top three people there. I think that for me, especially because I'm, I guess, the closest to Chad, the Sponge, I think he's been doing a great work in the last, not just last year, but multiple years. I think he's been doing great job overall in the production, space. And together with Machine, he's the best duo there, and I think he's gonna take the Talent of the Year award. I think Scrawny as well is also a good commentator. Banks has his own thing doing with the hosts and the interviews, but I think Chad is gonna be the one that's gonna take it. Event of the Year for me, it's a very difficult to kind of decide, because Katowice was so long ago. It's such a good event. It was so long ago, nearly a year now. Shanghai just finished like a month ago. It was also a very good, intense event, especially in the playoffs. And then there is a major Copenhagen, which is definitely not my pick for the best event of the year. So it's between Katowice and kind of a Shanghai. I have to say major, because it was the major overall. We had some really good games, especially, like I said, in the playoffs. Spirit won it over FaZe. It was an intense game. Semis were intense as well. Like, it was super good, and I want to say that I'll pick Perfect World Shanghai Major as the event of the year. Creator of the year, I follow just a couple, I'll be honest with you. Vire, I don't know who that is. That is, honestly, I'm saying I don't even know who that guy is or who that person is. Triclick Philip, I heard about him. I don't watch his content at all. So I'm gonna say Nate King, because he does such a useful thing, so many useful things. I remember, and I can guarantee you every team out there They are watching his videos, picking up on flashes because it saves so much time, picking up on flashes on the moves, on the one-way smokes, and all these things that they're doing, especially the fact that he also does the strats thing with the website that he's having. So I'm telling you right now, a lot of teams are watching his content, professional players and coaches and the people in the in the coaching staff as well that are watching his things. So he's doing a great job. I hope he continues to do it. For me, he is the best creator of the year as far as the CS goes. Streamer of the year, now, I don't know. For me, like I said, I have to be biased here again, and I have to go from what I know. Dima, I don't know the guy. I haven't watched his stream. I don't know who he is, and I can't really vote for him. One Pixel is, I call him One Pixel, but I guess I'm mispronouncing that name, but whatever. He's an entertainer. He's funny. He's not bad. I don't have anything against him. I think he's doing what he is doing. He is doing in a good way. I don't think, obviously, there was a drama with Asian RMR and everything, but overall, when it comes to like streaming, he is very consistent. He's one of the biggest in CS, and for me, like he's all right. I have nothing against the guy, and he's okay. But I have to pick Flom because Flom is the most entertaining. I watch his streams a lot, and he is like, I know him from a couple of events, and I know he hands a lot with Get Right, and like I talked to him a few times. He seems like a really chill dude, especially on the stream, and that's my pick for that. And obviously the skin of the year. I don't know a lot about skins. I stopped caring about that long time ago. For me, it's just this is just a lottery at this point. I like AKs, so I'm gonna pick the AK one. So let's see if I win or not, but whatever. And that covers up pretty much the community awards, the let's say boring stuff, but not really boring stuff. It's still important for the community to have like a good talent pool and good events, and obviously creators and streamers, and obviously the skins that are kind of running this whole thing, and it has been running the whole thing that we are, enjoying for the past 10 years. So, is it 10 or maybe 9? But you know what I mean. So that covers up the community awards. When it comes to the HLTV Awards, we're gonna go to the panel awards as the last thing. When it comes to the HLTV Awards, I'm gonna go with fast with the start from the bottom. We have the Rookie of the Year. Now the three names that come to mind is Donk, Malbs, and Zontix that are in the final stretch, in the final top three. For me, obviously, we already know who needs to be picked here. Let's start from Zontix. He had a terrible half of the year. They started off winning Katowice, I believe, and then they had a terrible year. People wanted him out. He was struggling a lot. So him to be a Rookie of the Year, definitely when the Donk is in the pool, definitely seems like a bad way to do it, right? It's just not a thing. Mobs, I don't think he's a rookie. That's the problem. I think he's a great player. I think he's super sharp, great kid. I know him from the time when I was in America. He was a promising talent then, but he was already playing in the professional circuit. He was playing RMR against myself back in 2021. In CSGO, I went for Team 1 or whatever the team was in Brazil or South America, whatever it was. So for me, he's not rookie. So I can't consider him a rookie, even though he's good. So my choice here is Donk. Donk has to be the one. Obviously, we know what kind of year Donk had, and we're gonna get to his stats later on. But for this Rookie of the Year, I think it's a no-brainer to just pick Donk because the amount of the numbers that he has put up and the records that he has broken in the past 12 months is just absolutely ridiculous. So I don't think it's just a matter of even talking about it too much. Women's Team of the Year. I don't know too much about women's Counter-Strike. I'm gonna say that honestly. I do follow the couple of these Impact games or like events that have been in the past, 2 years. And I know that my friend Zainab is playing for Imperial, I believe. And so I'm gonna pick them, and I think they are together with Navi, I guess, the best ranked team right now. I know that was that drama and the whole Twitter, whatever that was, about rankings and women's team being ranked higher than some of the men's team. It's just whatever. But for me, I think Imperial would take that as the female team of the year. So I guess it's we're gonna pick that one now. This is a spicy one. Team of the year. So I guess men's team of the year. or team of the year overall, it's a very difficult choice. It is something that it's really hard to kind of pick. So we have G2 as here. Can you say they're the team of the year? I don't think so. What did they win? They win Dallas with Stewie, and they won Blast Finals, right? And that's it. They lost semis and other things and whatever. Are they team of the year? Absolutely not. So they are out of the question. So it's just between Na'Vi and Spirit, and they both have similar results. I think most people will say Spirit right now because they are still under the impression of Donk, obviously, and the fact that they won the last major, the last event of the year, and the biggest event together with Copenhagen, right? So many people will probably say that Spirit would be the team of the year, but I'm gonna go with the Na'Vi because Na'Vi had that like stretch of like what 5, 6, 7 finals and events and whatever together with I guess was it Pro League plus Major plus all these events. So for me, it has to be team of the year. It has to be Na'Vi. The way they kind of came up from, you know, they kind of grouped up after Simple's departure and all these things that happened. And they kind of rallied up together with under Blade and Alexi and won all these events. They didn't have a great finish for the year, but you know what you're gonna do. The competition is like very, you know, difficult right now. So for me, Na'Vi should be the team of the year, no question. Women's players of the year. Now, like I said, I don't follow it that much. I can't really say and speak about the skill of these female players except for Zainab. Zainab is a, you know, I saw some numbers in HLTV that Anna, you know, is playing tremendously, and I looked at the stats and I looked at like what's going on. If I'm being biased, I can say that Zaz should take it. But stats say otherwise. Stats say that Anna should be the women's player of the year. So I think that I'm gonna go with the stats and the logic this time, and I think I'm gonna go Anna. But Zaz is close second, and I know that was like, and she had some like issues in the last month because she turned to, let's say, religion a little bit more, which is fine, which is completely okay. And there was a drama about going on and some hate towards her. I don't think that was deserved at all. But there was also a lot of support. If she is watching this, Zainab, you're my friend. We share a lot of good memories together, especially when she was in a relationship with Yanko, and we were like all hanging out a couple of times, and like we had like a lot of good times together. And she's my friend, and you know. I'm gonna show this video and kind of show support towards her and the choices that she's making, and just keep playing and enjoy Counter-Strike. But for now, like I said, the women's player of the year is Anna, and Zaz is close second. And now we don't know that this is the HLTV Awards player of the year to be announced, and three times to be announced. Right? For me, it's just it has to come down to 3 people, right? 3.5 people. Monesi, Zaivu, Donk, and then Nico, right? Because let's speak about these players right now, and we have let's see Donk here, boom. Donk's numbers in individual, let's do it like this, overview, last 12 months, top 30. Overview. So this is ridiculous. Like, the kid is 17 years old, right? 136, 2.1 rating, impact 157 with ADR 96.7. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is not even humanly possible at this point, right? I don't understand. Even Nico, like, go back to the best players of all time from different countries, right? We have Nico, we have Zaivu, we have Simple, we have like, you know, Coldzera back in the day, Get Right, and like all these people, and when they were this young, like they didn't put up any numbers that are close to this. Like, it's ridiculous. I know, I also like to say that a lot of the whole team is playing for him, but the numbers that he's delivering are unbelievable. Firepower of 100 of 100, this is crazy. But the thing is, like, with him, I don't think anybody has put up numbers like him in as a 17-year-old. And keep in mind that Nico, when was he 17? 10 years ago? 9 years ago, when that was like 2015, the competition was not that strong. Like you had like different teams, but the level of Counter-Strike and the level of skill there was not that high as it is right now. So Donk putting these numbers in this type of competition is absolutely nonsense. So for me, it's just a no-brainer that he's number one. Number two, now this is where people are gonna be a little bit here and there, right? For me, that is definitely Zyvu. I don't think there is, for me at least, I don't think there is too much to discuss about that, because his numbers are also absolutely crazy. Let's go to overview, 12 months and top 30. We don't need to put it in because they only put it. It's 134 and 141, right? That is just an 88.7 ADR and 99 of 100 in the firepower department. So the thing is, like, he uses AWP, he uses like rifle, he is like a, playing all the positions on the map, on the server, so he kind of has all the freedom similar to Donk. And for me, he's a close second, and still the contender for the GOAT spot. When we talk about like 10 years from now, we're going to talk about Zyvo, we're going to talk about Nico, we're probably going to talk about Donk, simple as well, if he returns to CS2. And Zyvo for me had a tremendous year once again, 16 in a row, that he kind of delivered this type of numbers. But unlucky for him, there was somebody better this year, and that was Donk. And for me, that is a no-brainer when it comes to the second spot. And then that leaves us with a number 3, and I think that's m0NESY. m0NESY simply because I can't think of another name that can match the impact that m0NESY had for G2 in his team throughout the 2024. If you can tell me another player besides obviously Donk and Zyvo that had a better impact in his own team, that delivered more, results. So m0NESY is just a machine that keeps on delivering. And if you go to G2 right now, let's see, m0NESY, so all time, let's put the last year as well, top 30. You see, it drops down. You see the difference between the players right now, and it clearly, he's still 19, just 2 years younger than 2 years older than Donk, and 5 years younger than m0NESY, 5 years younger than Zyvo, but still super young player that kind of just popped up after he got into G2 and just kept on delivering. For me right now, he has to take the number 3 spot at the very least, and it's well deserved, because like I said, the amount of work he has done for G2 and the amount of big kills and big maps that he kind of turned into G2's favor by himself, and obviously sometimes with the help of Nico, because nobody else in that team kind of delivered all that much. They had HooXi, they had Hunter, who was underperforming, Mars on a decent level, on a good level, but still it's not close to these two. So for me, the best players in G2 were m0NESY, then Nico, then Malps, and then Hunter, and then obviously Snacks / HooXi. So those are the top 3 in my opinion. I don't think it will change. I don't think I was wrong. And that kind of covers up the HLTV Awards. And now we go to the panel awards. Also super interesting thing, like we said, like we had the IGL, the opener, the anchor, the closer, the opener, the coach, and the highlight of the year. So the highlight of this is interesting. The highlight of the year is somebody, I see that, I think this is Donk's on Mirage, JL the Deagle, and Nico's Deagle on Ancient, right? I think, but I'm not sure. But let's start from the start. Let's start from the IGL. Alexi, Chopper, and Kerrigan. I think the first 2 are pretty obvious, and the third one is because somebody had to be number 3. And FaZe, I guess, did alright this season, especially in the last part. I don't think there is a third name that can be besides Kerrigan, but let's talk about the first 2, Alexi and Chopper. I think, even though the similar thing with the team of the year, when we spoke about who's gonna take it, I still think that we need to put Alexi above Chopper, simply because they won more. They had like a longer period where they were dominating than that first spot. They had 5-6 finals in a row or whatever that was, and they won the major. They had this little season, a full season of domination. almost full season of domination, and the way that Alexi was brought into that team after his stock was super low in NIP and all these failures that he had, what people would call, and had to group up all these. Had to group up all these people, start basically from scratch with Blade and everything else, and had to bring a new Opera from Sprout, which was wonderful at the time, and it's just, and won all these things despite all the negativity that he received. Kind of puts him above Chopper, who is also a great IGL. I think he's deserved to be in a consideration for the best IGL of the year. Also, Chopper needs to, we need to understand when it comes to Chopper that he has a full system behind him with analysts, and not many people know that. We have a bunch of analysts, he has a coach, he has a full system of the academy team that kind of, brought him, all these players that he has right now. So, for me, Chopper is a great IGL. Alexi right now for the 2024 is the number one, definitely. And I think individually speaking, when you talk about the skill, I think Alexi is a little bit above. I think he's a little bit sneakier. He takes a little bit more space than Chopper, and a little bit more resources, but I think he deserves it, and I think he uses it well. And that covers up the IGL. Opera, that's the next category. Now we have what? We have m0NESY, Shiro, and Zaiwu. This is an interesting conversation that we have to have right now about all these three names. So, when we speak about the full picture, full complete player, full impact, there is no question Zaiwu is the number one here. But we are speaking about OP and the OP impact. If we go right now and let's say we go to Vitality, we go to Zaiwu, statistics, weapons, top 30, last 12 months. And then we're gonna do the same thing about with m0NESY. Right here, clutches, not clutches, you're gonna get to there, not 3 months but 12, and top 30. Now Zaiwu picks up the op 28.9% of the times, and m0NESY gets 43% of it, and that's a big difference. That is a big difference. Op kills 1.3k, 780. I guess that's a proportional when it comes to picking up the op and getting the kills. I guess you can say they are close there, and I do think that this plays into the decision for me to take m0NESY as the Opera of the year. So simply because he picks it up more, he takes more responsibilities, he takes more risks there, he does a lot of work, he does a lot of impact, he has a lot of impact. We spoke about it, I'm not going to repeat myself. We spoke about the impact that he provides for his team, especially with an op. He's super dangerous with that gun. When he comes into a clutch, when he comes into an opener, it's he's reading the game properly, especially when he has an op. So it's just for me, all these things combined puts me in a position to say that Opera of the year is definitely m0NESY. If you look at the player, complete player, rifles, pistols, everything else, I would say that Zaiwu would take that spot. But as the Opera goes, I would say m0NESY number one, and then Zaiwu is number two, and then Shiro is number three. Shiro, who had also a great year, but when you have competition like Zaiwu and m0NESY against you, it's kind of hard to be first. This time it goes to m0NESY. Anchor of the year, for me, the finalists are Bit, Yimphat, Zontex. For me, I think this is also a no-brainer. I think Bit has to take it because Jimmy and Zontex, we spoke about Zontex when it came to this rookie thing. He had a okay year. He's not like your all-time Zipnix or whatever you want to call it, or it's just he was all right, but he had a terrible period where he was on a breach of being kicked. Remember that Vertigo game against, was it FaZe? Or I think it was the Major, where he was dropped 4 kills in 47 deaths or whatever the fuck was it. Anyway, he had that's just a small part of the bad period that he had as a player, right? And he was struggling on his position, the same as Magix in that team on the other side, because Magix was kind of a soft support or soft anchor, and Zontix was like a hard anchor on like your typical A site on Anubis type of position. So for me, he struggled a lot. Jim Hat, on the other hand, had a better year. There we can just look at it a little bit. I mean, we have time, I guess. Let's go here, stats, overview. Just look at the top 30 opposition. The impact is not the greatest. The rating is alright. I mean, he didn't play bad. I think it's alright for him to be in this position. But again, Mouse didn't win that much. Had a boring year. Had a lot of there was a lot of people expecting more than for them in 2024 because they brought up this line. They brought Shui. They brought all this, from the academy team. They put it all together. Brought in Brolan as to kind of be the fifth piece of that team, and people expected more. People expected some titles and deep runs and like finals, and they expected this team to kind of ascend into something more than they are right now. Luckily for them, I mean, and I guess unfortunately for somebody else, they didn't really make any changes yet, and today is 7th of January, so there was no news about changing anything, so maybe they stayed together, who knows, but we want to wait and see. But to get back on the topic, Jimmy, I think he is alright, but he's not anchor of the year, which puts us to Bit, who is definitely anchor of the year, simply because they delivered crazy numbers for that spot that he is playing, and they won. Navi won a lot of things during this 2024, and he himself was a rock during those wins, and he was one of the biggest reasons, together with JL, I guess, and obviously the coaching staff and I guess the whole team. But he was also a very important, player for Navi in 2024. So if you go to his stats, and you can definitely see the difference in impact and in rating when it comes to him and, let's say, Imhat or even Zontix. And I think he is definitely the player that deserves the most when it comes to this award, and I think he worked hard for it, and I think he is a rock for his position. And so young still. I still remember when he just joined, and when they had that little era when Pumic was in the team, and he was just bounced a little bit after that in the positions, but he was put in his natural positions. He dominates again, and he's delivering. So he's gonna get this award, 100% in my opinion. I don't think there is anybody else who can take it from him. Closer of the year. Now this is hard to say. For me, none of these people deserve it. I don't think none of these three people deserve it. I think Frozen deserves this one. Even though I don't think he's there simply because FaZe didn't win on anything this year. They lost small finals, they lost one major, they lost Katowice, a couple more, I can't remember. And he didn't have a great year. But for me, Frozen is better closer than all these three together. But if I had to pick one, I would definitely pick Bit again, because let's see what he says here. Clutches. Last 12 months, one-on-one. It's not really. I thought it would be more. I don't know. I guess I would have to pick Bit simply because of the things that Navi won, but again, JL was there and Navi won still with him, so I don't know. For me, I'm just gonna skip this one. I'm not even gonna predict this one. I'm just gonna say Frozen deserves this one, because look at this. Like, I think we need to just pay attention to this. Where is FaZe? Frozen statistics. Top 30 last 12 months. Clutches. Come on, just give me a fucking break. 47 and 15 in a one-on-one. 47 and 15. That's plus 32 difference. What more do you want for him to be in the top 3? 13 wins in the 1v2, he had 1v3s, 0 1v4, 1v5, but who cares? But the most important thing is this. Like, it's fucking crazy. And then if you put, who did we have? Jim Hat there? Jimmy, what do you got for me? Clutches, 12 months, top 30. 26 and 20. A lot of 1v2s though. But I don't know. For me, it's like, this is the most important, thing. And also, like, I don't know. for me, Frozen is just, he needs to be on this one. So I'm gonna skip this one. I'm gonna boycott and veto this one. Opener. This is crazy, but I do think that we have Nico, Elige, and Donk. We can put out Elige, even though Elige had a great year in 2024, his team didn't, and that's why he is obviously looking for another opportunity somewhere in Europe. People are saying FaZe. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because I'm surprised that he wants to go to Europe, because he was the first one I remember in America for years saying like, I don't want to go, I don't want to travel, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Maybe he got smarter, maybe he got more mature and decided like that it's best for his career to kind of go to EU, and I applauded that, so that's fine. But opener of the year, Nico or Donk? Two different players in my opinion when it comes to this position, when it comes to this role. Nico is creating space for himself and getting the openers for himself. Donk is being set up to get into positions. But also Donk is sharp as fuck, probably sharper than Nico right now. Even a little bit more quicker right now, but obviously he's 17 and Nico is 27. Not a justification, not like an excuse or anything. This year it belongs to Donk, and that's a fact. When it comes to the opener of the year, I mean, the brain says Donk, the heart says, Nico, but the brain says Donk, and we have to listen to the brain because we are reasonable people. And Donk will take that one because his year, like I said, is unbelievable. It doesn't make any sense to don't pick him. Like, it's the best counterstrike year for an individual player of all time, and that's it. Like, that's simply it. No matter how much I love Nico and want him to be the winner of everything, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, what I believe, it just matters what the stats says and what the facts are. So Donk here is gonna be the number one. When it comes to coach of the year, for me, Cyclone is definitely had a bad year together with his team. Average year, not a bad year, average year. And he needs to prove himself even more. He proved himself a lot in the last 2 years, coming from the academy team, building this team, staying in Mouse for a long time, delivering results. But now it's time for the titles because you had a team, and that's the logical next step for a coach like that. Holly and Blade. Holly has, like I said, won a couple of events, stayed with this team for a long time, built it together with his support behind him and the organization, and he has tremendously good players and everything. Blade is obviously the GOAT right now, and that he may manage to win the major with and without Simple, just to prove to people that, you know, he's a good coach. And I think he takes this one simply because now we had a better year and they had a tougher circumstances than Spirit. But Holly is close second this year. It's not far off when it comes to these two. And right now the last thing that's left is highlight of the year. I believe the three that are left are Nico, Deagle on Ancient, and I think JL, Deagle on Ancient, and I think Don KK on Mirage. I think Don KK on Mirage is the flashiest, but impact-wise, I think JL and Nico are close to each other because Nico's Deagle turned the game around, and JL's Deagle kind of started that Ancient victory where he had like, what, 27, 28 kills in semis of the major. So for me, I'm gonna, simply because the importance of the highlight and the importance of the thing, depends like how you want to look at it. If you look at it flashy, it's Donk. If you look at it like the importance and all of these things, it's JL. So I'm gonna say JL myself, and that should cover all the things. Oh hell, have we done everything? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's just a little bit of a kind of short analysis of this thing that is coming up. I don't know if anybody's going to be in Belgrade, but if not, make sure you watch it and tell me what you think about your, tell me what you think about your choices for this awards and everything that's going on. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon, I guess.